Hello YouTube, I'm Ryan with Signal Circuit and welcome to today's Tech Tip. Today we're going to be talking about customizing the look and feel of Windows 11. Perhaps you've purchased a new computer with Windows 11 already on it, or you've upgraded an older Windows 10 computer to Windows 11. Either way, congratulations on the upgrade. Windows 11 has come a long way since its initial release, and it's now a stable, user-friendly operating system. And I think once we get it customized to your liking, you'll really enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get started. When you first install Windows 11, it will probably look something like this. You'll have your Start button, search bar, and various other buttons located along the center of your bottom taskbar here. Now, as someone who's used Microsoft Windows forever, I don't really like having all of this in the center of the taskbar. To me, the Start button and all of my other taskbar buttons belong in the bottom left, where they have been for decades. So that's the first thing we're going to fix here, is to move the Start button and everything else onto the bottom left, like how we're used to. So to do that, we're going to move our mouse into any empty spot here in the taskbar, and we're going to right click and click Taskbar Settings. When the settings opens, right here in the center we see Taskbar Behaviors. We're going to click that. And then the very first item here on the list is Taskbar Alignment. We're going to change that from center to left. There we go, that looks a lot better. Now it actually looks and feels like Microsoft Windows. Now, if that's all you wanted to do, you could close out of this settings screen and stop the video here. But I'm going to be showing you a lot of other things that we can customize, and some of it we can actually do from inside this taskbar settings screen. For example, this search bar down here. I don't really like having this extra search bar down here because to me it's redundant. The Start menu already has integrated search, and it's the same search that you have down here in the taskbar. You can search for apps, you can search the web. So to me, this is redundant and it takes up space, so I'm going to turn it off. To do that, I'm going to come up here to the top where it says search, and in the drop down we're going to change this from search box to hide. And now the search bar is gone. Next thing I want to get rid of is the task view switcher. That's this little button here. Task view allows you to open up multiple programs on one screen, open up multiple programs on another screen, and you can freely switch back and forth between your two screens. You might find this useful, but I don't really use this feature, so I'm going to turn this off. To do that, we're going to go to Task View, turn it off. Now the button is gone. Finally, we're going to look at widgets, and one of the widgets that you'll get right out of the box is this little weather widget down here in the bottom right-hand corner. As you can see, it's 31 degrees and mostly cloudy. One of the things that I really don't like about widgets is that if you accidentally mouse over it, it opens up this giant widget tray here, and it takes up a good portion of the screen. And I just think that that behavior is pretty obnoxious. So you don't necessarily have to get rid of the widget to stop that. What you can do is when it does open, if you want to keep the weather down here, when it opens, click this little settings button in the upper right, and right here where it says Open Widgets Board on Hover, turn that off. And then we'll click out of it here. So now, as you can see, I can freely mouse over this and it won't open up that side tray. It will only open if I actually click on it, and I can see the news. So I can freely open and close it at will by clicking on it, but now I won't accidentally open it. Now, I don't really have strong feelings either way about having the weather down there in the tray. Some people like to have it. I'm just going to turn it off. So I'm going to turn off widgets here so that it's gone. So that's the last customization that we're going to make in here. So I'm going to close out of this. Next thing I want to do for my taskbar is add my most frequently used apps. Now, one app that I use quite a bit is PowerPoint, and I already have a shortcut to it on my desktop, so I can literally just click and drag this down to the taskbar, and I can place it anywhere that I want. So if I want it in the middle here, I can drop it here, or I can rearrange it later. I can come back and move it, perhaps I want it right there instead. I'm going to do the same thing with Outlook because I like to check my email. There's a couple other programs that I would like to have on my taskbar, but I don't have shortcuts to them on my desktop. But no problem, we can pin them to our taskbar directly from the Start menu, which I'm going to show you right now. To do that, click on Start, type in the name of the program that we want to pin. In my case, it's Visual Studio Code. I do a fair bit of scripting, and I use Visual Studio Code for that, so I use this quite a bit. When the app comes up here, if you don't see Pin to Taskbar in here, you can click this little drop-down arrow and click Pin to Taskbar. You can also right-click on it and click Pin to Taskbar. And there we go. Now I have a shortcut to Visual Studio Code. Let's do the same thing with the command prompt because I use that quite a bit. So I'm going to type in terminal. Again, I don't see pin to taskbar in here, so I'm going to click this little arrow, click pin to taskbar, and there it is. And just like I did with the desktop shortcuts, you can also rearrange these any way you like. I use the command prompt quite a bit, so I'm going to put it right here next to Outlook. There we go. It's looking good. Next thing I want to look at is customizing the theme of Windows. Now, when you first install Windows 11, it might look like this, where you have a white colored taskbar, white colored start menu. This is the light theme. Some computers will come with the light theme already on them. Some of them will come with the dark theme. If you want to change from one theme to the other, the easy way to do that is right click in an empty spot on your desktop, go to personalize, click on colors, and then right at the very top here under choose your mode, we're going to change this from light to dark. And now we have the dark theme enabled on our computer. Now, I'm not really a big fan of the dark theme, but if you like it, more power to you. So to change it back, we'll just do the same thing. Right click on the desktop, go to personalize, go to colors, and then we're just going to change it back to the light theme. Okay, cool. Last thing we're going to look at is changing the desktop background. Some computers will have their own manufacturer wallpaper on here. Some of them will come with this default Windows blue wallpaper here, but you can change it to whatever you want. Once again, you right click on the desktop, go to personalize, and then we'll go to background. And you can pick whatever image you want. You can go to browse photos here if you have a picture on your computer. You can pick this sunny nature picture if you wanted. We can minimize this to see what it looks like. I'm going to choose my branded one here. And that's it. Thank you for watching today's tech tip, and stay tuned for the next one.